I have a region here that I'm being asked to define, and here's the inequality of 4x plus 2y is less than or equal to 5. Now the tactic we're going to use when we have to sketch an inequality that has a name like this or an equation like this that's not a vertical or horizontal line is, first of all, we're going to sketch the relationship as if it's an equals. So for this one, 4x plus 2y equals 5. Then the second one, we have to check to see whether it's included. By that I mean it's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. So greater than or equal to there, or less than or equal to there. And if it is, then I have a solid line. If it's not, then I'll show a dotted line. And then 3, I test for what I call whether it makes or breaks the rule. So, and I do that using the origin. And if I can't use the origin, then I'll normally use 1 and 0. One of them will be able to test. So this might not mean that much to you until I do it now. So let's start. Let's sketch the region defined by the inequality 4x plus 2y is less than or equal to 5. The first thing I said I'll do is I'm going to sketch it as if it's 4x plus 2y equals 5. So I'm going to go to my graphing area and I'm going to, actually I can't do that yet because this asks me in terms of mx plus c. So I'm going to start in main and I'm going to say 4x plus 2y equals 5. And I'm going to solve that for y, because then I get y equals mx plus c, which I can use. So solve for y, and I get y equals negative 2x plus 5 on 2. So I'll write that over here. Y equals negative 2x plus 5 on 2. If I use decimal, which is down here, of course, then I can hit enter again, and it says 2x plus 2.5. So now I'm going to go to the graphing area, and I say graph and table. I'll put in y equals, I've got here equals, so that's good, negative 2x plus 2.5, and I hit OK, and I sketch that. And that looks like this. I can check my intercepts by using my analysis G-solve. So when I want to find out my y-intercept, I'll hit y-intercept, and I found out my y-intercept is 0 and 2.5. So what I'll do is I'll mark a point here that's 0 and 2.5. If I want my x-intercept, I do analysis G-solve and root. Root is my x-intercept, and it tells me here it's 1.25 and 0. That's what it looks like to me. If I look down here, I can confirm 1.25 and 0. So I'm going to make a point here, 1.25 and 0. And then what I'll do is I'll get my ruler out, of course, and I'll make sure I rule a lovely straight line between my 2 points. As you can see, that's obviously perfectly done. Now what I'm going to do is I've done this and I've sketched that. So that's all good and done. My next step is going to be that I decide whether this line is included or not. As you can see here, I've got an included thing. I've got less than or equals to. So this should stay as a solid line. So that's done. And now what I do is I'm going to check my point at the origin. So therefore, when x is 0 and y is 0, which is at the origin, then my equation becomes 4 times 0 plus 2 times 0 is less than or equal to 5. So therefore 0 is less than or equal to 5. Now because this is true, this makes the rule. And therefore the origin, the 0, 0 point, is in the region that I'm looking for. So if this is in the region, then my region must be this region here. Now if the origin broke the rule, then the origin's not in my desired region, and therefore my region would be the region this side of the line, including the line, because remember, we've got that including sign there.